Okay. Good evening. Let's see if I can pull off something new. When the sunlight burns its rays right through your mind, and you see yourself belonging to the world, guess you know the feeling is intense. You never understood why you belonged. Take your time, turn right, then left, and you will see it through. All this time you fought to win, and yet it was just like counting pennies on the floor. Always thinking riches while you're poor. Wealth you know is built from the inside. All is grander than you'll ever dream. Take your time, turn right, then left, and you will see it through. All this time you fought to win, and yet it was counting pennies, counting pennies, counting pennies on the floor. Take your time, turn right, then left, and you will see it through. All this time you fought to win, and yet it was counting pennies, counting pennies, counting pennies on the floor. Just like counting pennies on the floor. Just like counting pennies on the floor. Just like counting pennies on the floor. Thanks. counting pennies on the floor. Just like counting pennies on the floor. Just like counting pennies on the floor. Just like counting pennies on the floor. So, oh boy. Hi. Oh my God. Hi, everybody. I'm back. I've got a little bit of a different setup going on, so I'm not sure if it's all working right, but I hope it's better than it was last week. I'm still tweaking. 32 episodes later, I'm still tweaking, but I'm hoping you can hear me okay and that everything sounds fine. So I was just playing a song that I was working on the arrangement for this week, and it's getting there. The lyrics are not quite done yet, but what I've got so far is what I've got. And no, it's not a song about Bitcoin. I wrote this months ago, but it's funny how some of the lyrics are indicative of future. So just goes to prove where things go the way they go. So real quick here. Hi, Jim. Hi, Anna. Hi, Darwin, Sean, Fega, May. TMT Mix is on YouTube. Jose, Rodney, Archik, Norma, Steven, Randall, Daniel. Oh my God, so many of you all over the place. That's awesome. I've got YouTube in the house, Facebook. Looks like I've got some Twitch, which I hope I get more Twitch. I hope I'm getting more YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. I have to get to 10,000. That's the goal. I'm trying to get to 10,000 before the end of the year. I don't know if it's possible, to be honest, but I'm going to try my damnedest to get to 10,000 before the end of the year. And I need my drink. Sorry. Foo-foo drink today. But so what's weird, first of all, hello, hi, welcome. Number 32, the unplanned, not thought out, nothing about maybe 2 hours before show. But it's not all bad. In actuality, it forced me to think on my feet. So that's a good thing. It's good when you can take action and not exactly know where you're headed. So I take risks. So just so you know, I'm taking risks, right? So this is a risk. But considering, that I put a new mic in, this is an old one that I had in the studio that I decided to try out for the stream. I think it works pretty good. You guys think it sounds good? Let me know if it sounds good. I think I'm going to invest in another mic. I might have to, but I need one that's more for this kind of thing instead of singing, So I don't know, but that's just me talking. But anyway, tonight, we're coming off a week after elections. To some people, it's over. To some people, it's not. So all kinds of crazy shit going on outside. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't plan anything, because I wasn't really sure if anything was going to happen, because like everyone else, I've kind of been glued to the news to see, what's going on in the world, and, that and Bitcoin, because I have been checking. It's 16 grand this week. 16 grand, people. 16 grand. So if there was ever a time, it's now. But anyway, I'm going to talk about that later. So, one second. Let me turn the overhead on for a second. I forgot to do something. It's just easier for you to see me doing it this way than the other way. think I got it. Either that or I just ruined the song that I just worked on for like a week. But, oh no, it's working. Okay. Give me a second here. There's a song that I forgot to have loaded up earlier, and I want to make sure I have it in there. And this is kind of cool that I can do things on the fly. I am loving this. Sorry about that. So we're back. I had forgotten to load a song up, and it's cool because I can actually switch between screens and work offline and come back without causing any problems. And it's nice and quiet tonight. Can you hear how quiet it sounds? No weird noises coming in from the outside. So I hope the internet stays. I really hope the internet stays. Please stay. So Jose just said, I like these live performances. Me too. I wish I could do more of them, but this room doesn't permit that kind of thing. Because if I was going to do real live performances, what I would do is actually be standing up, having speakers on so I could hear myself really clearly, not through headphones because I hate singing through headphones. And then it would be like a live show. So I'm still working on that. There's a possibility that could happen. Again, it's been tough to work that out, but I think that now things are starting to. There's some amiable talks between venues and I that might facilitate a live show of that type. So don't be surprised. But anyway, I'm going to start off with, so this is going to be all over the place. We're going to go through old demos, some that you may have heard, some that you didn't hear. So I can't remember everything I've played, but I chose carefully this time. So I think I got a really good bunch of them today. But one of the ones that I'm going to play first is a song that it used to be on the first abox site as a secret. You had to poke around the site, and let me give you a backstory on that. When the internet was new and our site was, also new, one of the things that I first learned how to code, which was interesting to me, was image maps. So if you don't know what an image map is, I'll show you something. Let's pretend. So let's say that you have this picture, right? You could draw a little square around here and say, like, if someone happens to find that area and click on it, it'll take them somewhere. That's what an image map essentially does. Now, typically, people used it to make cool designs so that it would be obvious where you had to click. I didn't do that. What I did was I hid things inside the site. So for a while there was like 10 songs you could find, but many people didn't find them, to be honest. But if you did happen to find them, you would find free downloads. And this is like in the early days. I'm talking like, I want to say that was like 95. So yeah, it's a long time ago. But anyway, one of those is this song that I'm going to play. It's a really short song, but it's called I'm Not Afraid. But what's interesting about this song to me is the lyrics. So I'm going to play it, then I'll come back, and then I'll play something newer-ish, sort of. We'll see. Overhead tape. Oh, that worked. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the closed doors. I'm not afraid. I said So, oops. Yeah, no, I'm back. Oops. I don't even know when I turned the mic back on. Nice. It's all automatic now. So, yeah, that was one of the secret ones that was in there. And TMT Mixes from YouTube wrote track like Scared, Dream 13, All the Light Has Faded Out, stuff like that, right? Yeah, all the stuff I'm going to play tonight. You just basically shot off a playlist there, buddy. Um, so yeah, there were some weird things that were out and about. And if you saw the flyer that I posted uh, this afternoon before I went on, or this evening, that was a shirt that was called Shareware, where when you got the shirt, there was a download attached to it that had a bunch of really cool B-sides that no one's really ever heard. So some of those I'll play tonight and some stuff that didn't wind up on anything. So I'm going to play some of that stuff. And yes, I'm going to play some stuff from the tribute record, but not too much because I want to keep that on the down low somehow because, well, I mean, I'm going to let some cats out of the bag tonight, but as it rolls to that release, as time moves forward to that release, we'll get to know more and more about things that are going on with it. But it's not ready yet. It looks like the tentative date is going to be December 4th. It's going to be on a Friday, December 4th. That's the date we're shooting for. So if all goes well, that's when it's going to happen. So um, I'm going to play. Let's see. That one, maybe. I got choices here, so it's kind of cool. But all right. So what I'm going to do is play something that is special to me that I may have played before. I'm not sure, but I'm playing the whole thing this time. So I'm going to give you the backstory here, and I may have told this before. So if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. It's 32 episodes in. It's through Quaranstream. I have not listened to every single one that I've done, so I may repeat myself and even mess up the details, which is even weirder. But so that's just the way it is. But so I was driving home and I was listening to a radio station that I really, really love, or loved because it's gone now, which was Indie 103. And on Indie 103 here in Los Angeles, we had none other than a Sex Pistol, Jonesy, Steve Jones, DJing and playing different music. So I absolutely loved his show. Okay. I loved it. I loved it because I would hear so many different diverse types of music on that show. He would play Marvin Gaye, followed by, you know, Sex Pistols, followed by Kiss, followed by Kraftwerk. And one day, as I was driving, he frickin' played an Anything Box song, and I almost crashed. I almost crashed my flippin' car when I heard him say these words that I'm about to play and the song in question. It was from the Universe album. I had sent it in, but I didn't know that he was going to be the one playing it. And so I was lucky that his show would air in the afternoon, and then they would replay the show. I think it was around 10 p.m. or 11, right before midnight. And so I happened to get out a cassette deck and tape it so that I could hear it again and I could hear his intro and everything. So this is why I have it this way. So this is a special version of a song off The Universe is Expanding with Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols actually, giving me the props right there. And you know what? I'm sorry. I am proud of that. And yes, I almost crashed my flipping car. And so you can imagine, right? You're driving and, one of your childhood musical heroes, mentions your name and says she's going to play a song and he's digging it, you know? I had to pull over and listen to it. It was one of those moments. And the cool thing is, it happened in the 2000s. It wasn't like early on in my career. It was not that long ago. So, although now I would say it's a long time ago. I'm so old. What's going on? 2020. Anyway, let's play that.
Indie 1031 is KDLD Santa Monica and KDLE Newport Beach, the independent FM. Indie 1031.
Let's play this band called anythingbox. I played one of their songs yesterday. I'm digging this album. This is another song. This is called Constellations. Take it away, me old son. You just heard the rebroadcast of the first hour of Jones's Jukebox.
See?
Don't forget, tune in tomorrow from 12 to 2 and hear me live.
Indie 1031 is KDLD Santa Monica and KDLE Newport Beach, the independent FM. Indie 1031.
You know how proud I was of that moment? But you know what's funny? I am so sad that that station's not around anymore, because right now I would love to have that station on day in, day out while I'm in stuck inside because it was that good. I don't know if you guys lived, of those of you who are, still living in California who were around during that time, but that was an epic time for radio in the 2000s. Something happened that was magical, like good music, good new music actually came back. And they were playing some stuff that I had never heard of from bands that I never heard of, and it was all new stuff, and it was so inspiring that that's why I pushed harder during the 2000s to record Electrodelica and all that stuff. It was because that station was around. So that's my little ode to them tonight. Uh, in every city that I've ever been part of, there's these little niches that I realize that I'm very grateful for. So obviously, if you know where we started, then you know that New Jersey is a big deal. The Pipeline, the Loop Lounge, Aldo's, all those places in Jersey, which were fantastic. CBGB's in New York. Yes, I did play CBGB's in New York. That was fantastic. Pennsylvania, Oliver J's. And then when we moved into the rest of the world, it was Numbers, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I had one track on the Numbers tribute, which is out, and you should be supporting that because it helps keep Numbers open. And they're a fantastic club. If you've never, once everything gets reopened, hopefully I'll go back to Numbers and play, but it's a great, great club. One of the best places to go in Houston. So I loved that place. Totally non-corporate either. It's like a real true underground punk new wave club, and I loved it because of that. So I'm hoping it stays open. So, so, so we had these hidden tracks, right? So I had recorded the first Diary album, and the first Diary album actually did not have a website. So I don't know if you know this, but there wasn't a website for the Diary at all. The only way that people knew that the Diary existed was our newsletters. So this particular song I'm going to play is from the Diary, and it's a remix, but this particular one was hidden. It was another one that was hidden on the site, and apparently, from what I've seen, no one ever found it. It was so hard to find this particular one, which is kind of silly now because I think about it. It's like, well, people missed out, and it never came out on anything. I don't think this was ever released on anything. So this is from the first Diary album, and then I'm going to read. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play that song, read your comments, then come back, answer your questions, and we do it again and again and again and again. Sort of. I mean, that's what I think. So for this one, I think we'll do weird visuals. Let's see. For this one, I think we should do, yeah, we should do more Diary-esque. This is called Simpleton.
Don't you know that it's over? Don't you know that it feels so cold? Can't you see how it hurts me when indifference intervenes? I don't find your own way now? Will you try to confront your pain? Will you make yourself lonely? Will you willingly take my lead? I don't mind. I don't mind.
So that was Simpleton, the drums version. So it's actually the same one that's on the album. It just has all these extra things on it. There's an organ and guitars and a little heavier drums. Because I think the original only has like a hi hat or cymbals, and that's it. So yeah, this was hidden, and nobody ever found it. so so yes. So someone said, sorry, let me go back. Uh, now I can't find it because it like just went all the way up. So Steve says, nice to know that Living in Oblivion still gets played by SiriusXM, which is absolutely, yeah. And I do listen to SiriusXM. We listen to the uh, Slicing Up Eyeballs guy, the Dark Wave show. That's on the weekends. That's a really good show, by the way. If you guys tune into SiriusXM, that's a good one. So it's all dark wave and all the weird gothic stuff, which I love that show. And there's a station out of Denver that I could probably stream, someone's saying, so I'm going to try that. So someone also says that I should do another diary album. I think if you listen to some of the demos that I've been like kind of working on, the next abox, whatever it is, because I don't know that it's an album. I have more than enough for an album, but I don't think that I'm going to do it that way. So I don't know yet. Okay. So this is not a decision here. But given time and resources and whatever happens next, I'm going to basically record a song, mix it, master it, release it. That's the goal. I may hold off until I have 3 or 4 songs, and then that's an EP, and then I will release it. I'm not going to wait till there's like 12 songs in the can or 15 songs in the can, or like the tragedy that happened with Distances where I have 25 songs in the can and then I release it and nobody knows it exists. So that's not going to happen again. So smaller amounts. And I'm softening on the vinyl idea. So, I mean, that's funny, right? Me, the guy that said I hated vinyl. But I am softening on that idea. So I'm trying to keep the EPs manageable so that if by any chance there's vinyl, I can easily flip them into vinyl instead of having to like cut songs out because it's too long. So you can always add a song to make the vinyl complete, but it's hard to say, hey, everybody, I'm going to release this and this song's going to get cut out because it doesn't fit, So I don't want to do that. So that's my take on vinyl, or partially. So getting back to the tribute album, I'm going to play a song, but Jim's got to help me out here because I forgot my notes and I don't want to leave and go find my notes or dig through files because I'm afraid that I'm going to make something crash if I do that. Everything's working perfectly, so I don't want to mess it up. But I'm about to play. See, I'm going to have to give this song away now. Hold on. Jim. Let's see what Jim says. But I'm going to play a song from the tribute. I have not heard this at all, like not even one note. So I have no idea what to expect. So when I listen to it, it'll be the first time I've heard it, literally, because I do not think I've heard this one at all. I know Jim's played a few of them on his show before, and on one of those shows I was present. But honestly, every time a song came on, I complimented the band and then left the room because I didn't want to be influenced in any way. And I wanted to be respectful of the work and not have that critical brain moving, So I didn't hear them, most of them. I only heard little bits because I wanted to be surprised. So this one, honestly, I have not heard at all. So this is Rise. And when we come back, I'll tell you who that was because I don't have my notes. But I think that was, oh my God. I want to say Apathy in Motion. Is that right? Is that right, Jim? But we'll see. We'll see if I'm right. Rise.
I can watch the time go by like a broken tape machine, playing over all the parts of a forgotten scene. We can rise so high above the great divided skies. We can make ourselves believe we know the reason why. So rise, we will rise above it all. 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 We will all ascend.
That's flippin' awesome. And I have to confess, I do remember now. It played, I left the room, but I heard the guitar parts. I came back in and I was like, those guitar parts. Should have done that. And I ran out again. because I was trying not to listen, but of course I get sucked in, right? You come back, you're like, that's my song. So the honor is mine, man. Great job. That was such a good job on that. I'm so blessed that that's coming out. Do you realize how amazing this is for me? Like it's almost like that moment of crashing your car. That's how good it feels to, to listen to other people interpret those things. So to me, it's amazing. So, wow, humbled indeed. I am. So listen, yeah, that's a good way to segue into this. So another secret song that nobody kind of found on the site. Now, there's a reason why I'm bringing this stuff up. Obviously, everyone's like, why is he bringing up this stuff from 1995? These secret things. Well, there's a reason why I'm bringing it up. And I've been leading up to all this stuff for weeks now. Um, I've always been into uh, puzzles of, and I don't mean like puzzles that are really hard to solve because obviously I don't like, I don't want them to be so hard I can't solve them. But I always loved finding the secret stuff. You ever like, it sounds funny to say this, but when you got the cereal box and you knew there was a secret stuff inside and you would dig in to, grab the whatever it was and it turned out to be something really disappointing, but you were still happy anyway because it was like, it's a secret inside cornflakes and I found it, that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. So obviously hiding tracks on a website to me was a big deal. But as we go forward and technology gets better, there are other things we can do with the technology. So I'm bringing that shit back and in style. I'm going to be doing some crazy stuff in the next few weeks. Not just with this release, but with the abox stuff that's coming out, the remixes that that you're supposed to be doing for Dead Stars. Yeah, I didn't forget about that. While there is no deadline per se, I really do hope you guys turn them in before mid-December because I think Mikey and I are already finding the manufacturer. Are we? How close are we, Mikey, to finding a manufacturer? Because once we've sealed that deal, then it's kind of on. So get those remixes in for Dead Stars because one of them is going to make the record. And the ones that don't, I'm going to do really interesting things with those remixes and they're going to appear, but they're going to be a hunt. You're going to have to find them. And same goes for some of the new things. And, we're going to play. We're going to have fun with this stuff. It's not going to just be like, oh, go on Bandcamp. I mean, for certain things, yes, but other things I think should be found. And I'll make it fun for you. So on the shareware, um, again, there were hidden things. And there was a hidden track that I had recorded in one afternoon. And I decided to make hidden. And again, no one really found it. It wound up becoming, I think I released it on one of the sharewares, but I'm not sure. It was either shareware 1 or 2 because I have them all broken up. I don't have them as a finished product because true to those releases, once they were out and I hit the limit, I actually deleted the master files of those so that I wouldn't be tempted to put it out on CD or something. Now, I still have all the individual songs, but the way they were cut for that release, they pretty much, whoever has them has unique versions. But anyway, I digress. This song was written on a nice sunny afternoon, and there was kids playing outside, and I had just gotten this really cool Sony processor. It was made by Sony, and it had a very unique vocal doubling effect, and I really liked it. So I decided that I would just write some random sequence and then just sing just to kind of work the mic a little bit. So this song came out of it. This is called Listen. So I'm going to play this, read your comments, then we'll come back. And then I think I'll play another one from the tribute record as a, we'll get some more sneak peeks in there. But, okay. So this is Listen. So, listen.
Listen, the words that you told me will never unfold me, and it'll never be my down. And I'll feel the same, and I'll feel the same. Listen, do you will remember the words from September? They'll never be the same, and everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. Listen to the words in your head. They'll never make much sense instead. Listen to the words in your head and let me down. Listen, will you understand me when everything drowns me and everything is clear and everything's gone, and everything's gone. Listen, will you just remember, I thought that you told me you'll always be my friend, and I was the one, and I was the one. Everything you said is wrong. The words that you make me strong, and all the worries in my head are coming back to me instead. The worries inside my head, the worries beneath my brains, and all of the fools that I've said to you are in love. And listen, will you just remember the words that you told me will never bring me down, and it'll be alright, and it'll be alright. Listen to the words in my head. Listen to the words that you said. Listen to the words in my head. You're looking slow, I'm looking down and made of stone. I'm made of stone. I'm made of stone. Listen, do you will remember the words that you told me will never be the same, and I was your friend, and I was your friend.
You can almost hear the kids. Well, because of that flippin' song, every time I play it, it reminds me of this microphone that I miss, like gangbusters. This was recorded with Gold 414. It's the TL2, but the old ones. This is like one that was like, the one that I had was probably made in the 1980s. And I loved that mic. I should have never sold it. It was an investment that I should have never sold that mic. I love that mic. So there's a hunt for an old TL2 in my future, but I've been chasing it ever since because I just love that mic. But and it's funny. So um, so Jim, sorry. Yes, the AKG 414, not the C. I had that one, but I didn't like it. The TL2. And but what's funny is that there's a company that's out of Canada that makes a 414 that's a cross between the C and the TL2, and it's a knockoff, and it was actually amazing. And it's about 200 something dollars. It's in my future at some point, but I'm happy with what I've got right now. I've got a nice arsenal of mics. There's a lot I can do, but it's funny every time I hear that song, I'm just like, that's that mic. So I digress as usual, but so yeah, that was another one that was hidden, and as Steve mentioned, um, uh, there was a time I don't remember. I mean, Steve's gonna kill me for this, but you'll have to chime in on this. I don't remember what the exact idea was, but I think it was that one evening we just decided to do a radio show in my studio and just play a couple songs and talk about them. And then it became a thing. And then we started doing it every week. And this song that I just played was one of the first songs, if not the first song that we played on that show. And every Sunday we would get together, or every other Sunday, and we would do these shows. And we weren't streaming because then you couldn't stream. The internet wasn't fast enough. But we would record them and then upload them. And at one point, I think we had over 1,000 listeners, which was cool, and it was a lot of fun because I didn't know what he was gonna play, and he didn't really know what I was gonna play, so it was always a surprise. And then we would have arguments about the music because obviously we would play whatever the heck we wanted. Um, so that was fun, and I would go in that direction with this kind of stream, and I would play other bands if it wasn't like going to get the channel banned or something. So in other words, if I was doing exclusively Twitch, yeah, I would probably be doing a DJ set, and I would probably play like 5 or 10 songs that I like and why. So I thought about that. So don't be surprised if you see a flyer that says Q30 something or Q40 something, Twitch only, then you know what's going on. You know what's happening if I do that. So be warned. Be forewarned. It might happen sooner than you think. But yeah, someone said I vote for wine and Twitch train wrecks. Yeah, of course. Why not? Trouble is, on Twitch, I think I only have like 10 followers or something. It's not well known, so I'd have to promote that way in advance if I decide to do something like that. And again, it wouldn't really be a DJ set; it would just be me playing music. So I don't know, but that's something else to talk about. So I'm gonna do a quick promo here because I'm supposed to. Everybody tells me to do this, and then I forget to do it, and then so you can let's see. So if you want to support me and help me out, you can go to Bandcamp, where I have some cool stuff up there, and there's an album on there that you don't see but you can get, and a couple other cool things that have been released. So I would do that if I were you. Yes, Bandcamp. Um, that was my promo. And then the other promo is if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and the bell and all that cool stuff. Oh my God, I sound like a salesman. I hate doing these things. I think I'm not good at doing promos. I'm gonna pre-record them and then just do them as commercials. That's what I'm gonna do. That way I could just play a commercial and it won't be me. It'll be someone I hire, a cartoon character or a robot or some zombie or something other than me. I don't like doing the, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, Blame it on the vino. But, so I'm going to play a song. Someone just said, hit that like button and subscribe. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for putting the links up, people. That's awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to play. It's funny. Well, let me see. I could played that one. So this one wasn't hidden, but it is one of my favorites. This is one of the ones that I wish we'd fleshed it out more, and I wish I had the masters to go into this mix and fix a few things that I would fix, but I can't. The way it was recorded, it's final. But this song has always been one of my favorites, and I wanted to play it right after Rise, but now, of course, the lag between the two songs is breaking them apart. But this song was on the first or second shareware, which was the Space Boy t-shirt. And I don't know if you saw that flyer, but Space Boy is actually, it came from my daughter's homework. And he was on there, and I believe it's a mimeograph from like the 60s. So he's like some 60s character. So I immediately you're not doing homework tonight. I'm scanning this. And then I drew over it and I don't know how you say that. I retraced it, let's just say. And I made a few modifications to Space Boy, giving him a little bit of a meaner look. Whenever you see Space Boy, I'm telling you, he's going to give you a gift. May not be today, may not be tomorrow. Keep your eyes on Space Boy. Anyway, Space Boy gave us this song, which is called Dream 13. And I do like this one a lot. Like I said, I wish I'd recorded it better, but neither here nor there. Dream 13. Dream 13.
Sitting on a bed of leaves, I sing, the birds rise up just like a sunflower in my head. Wish I had the wings so I could fly above infinity and simply soar away from here. 'Cause everything inside me feels the guilt and shame of clearing all the whys and woes of all of you. And all the beauty of the color blue is Look at the sun, rabbit run.
Ah, I wish I had just. It's that ending in the end. There's like all these cool voices and things that could have just come up a little bit higher and just there's some. I wish I could have fixed it, but it wasn't recorded that way. But that actually brings up an interesting conundrum. What's cool though is that it was a recording that was done on the fly. I remember that it was tracked, did the vocal, came back, did the backing vocals, came back, did another try, did a mix, done, and it was out. So I actually liked the fact that it was done quickly. So that part I do like. Um, just wish I'd kept the masters because that was when I was using, gosh, I want to say that was Cakewalk 9 or 8. So it was one of the first computer mixes where I was mixing on the computer. And if you're familiar with Cakewalk 9, this is before it was, the Cakewalk that was taken over by Sonar when it became Sonar. Um, Cakewalk 9 was okay, but it was anything but stable. So we would crash it all the time, and we were running it on a really, really crappy computer then. It's nothing like this thing. Um, this thing's a monster. Like, I'm not worried about this machine at all, but knock on wood, right? But but yeah, back then it was really hard to get more than 16 tracks just to play at the same time. So the track count, everything was done in a way to try to make the song work. So the constraint made that mix happen. So that's why I like that one. But I wish I could go back and just a little. But I can remaster. So there is that. Raymond says, "Gosh, Cakewalk, that's going back." Yeah, we're talking when when they were first trying audio on the computer. It was not fun. But to be fair, um, the universe is expanding was recorded using Cakewalk 9, an MPC, and my mixing console. Like all the vocals were coming out of Cakewalk and getting synced up to the MPC and the ESQ and all the other synths live, which is another reason why I don't have the masters, by the way, is because those things weren't tracked, they were live. So they were playing back live. So, which is kind of how I do things now. But the good thing is because the synths are built inside the computer, obviously I can remember everything and keep them. So everything has its advantages and disadvantages, folks. So before I play the next song, uh, which is funny enough, let me make sure I did this right. Yes, okay. Before I play this next song, I've gotten a few DMs on my Twitter. I have a few actually on Facebook, and I've gotten a few on uh, YouTube about the whole Bitcoin thing, which I didn't expect people to DM me directly, but they have been. Um, Everyone wants to know, like, how do you buy it? Why is this important? Like, what's going on? And it's funny. I get a lot of pushback too. Like, it's not real money, and I'm like, it's real money because I'm telling you that it's real money. I have money in there, and I'm seeing it grow. It's real money. So um, the best way to try it, if you've never tried having Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything like that, is now you can actually go to PayPal and do it. PayPal is now allowing you to buy Bitcoin using your PayPal account. If that is not telling you that there is some serious mass adoption about to happen, then you're sleeping. You're sleeping on a giant. Don't do what I did. So I think I said this on Facebook, but I'm going to tell it again so that we're clear. I heard about Bitcoin in 2009. I want you to remember that date, 2009. At the time when my friends were telling me to, I should look into it, I remember opening a wallet, that's another story for another day. But I remember opening a wallet, and I don't know if I actually bought any. I don't think I did, or I might have. But it was 25 cents then. So, had I kept the $5 worth of Bitcoin that I would have bought, do you realize I would be like a multi-millionaire right now? Like I would have like 8 million bucks in the bank or sitting in Bitcoin. So, for many years, I watched it, and there were times when I knew I should buy it and I didn't do it. And then I regretted it later. So this year, I was watching and I saw that there was movements happening that you just can't ignore them. Uh, when you see multi-billion dollar companies investing millions of dollars in it, and you can see it because they are actually releasing that data. So you could see the money they're spending on it. You can't say, oh, it's a scam, because if they're buying it, they're putting their money where their mouth is. And there were people like JP Morgan is a good example. JP Morgan had at one point said they would fire any employee, any that even spoke about Bitcoin as an investment option for their clients. This was years ago. Their position right now is that they're recommending it to their clients as much as they're recommending gold. So, do yourself a favor. If you got 20 bucks sitting around, if you got 50 bucks sitting around, go to PayPal, buy your Bitcoin. That's the simplest thing you can do. And the next day, just go back and see what happened to your 50 bucks, because I'm telling you, it's going to grow overnight and you're going to be like totally hooked. Like I literally go check every night and I'm like, oh my God, because it's growing. And the other one that I talk about a lot, this is the financial hour. I never thought I would be talking about this stuff. So that's another weird thing. Me talking about this stuff. You can ask my bandmates. If it has to do with banking, finances, anything to do with saving, they would probably laugh that I'm even talking about these things because I was not that guy. So I am not that guy. So if I'm that guy right now, I'm telling you, something's going on. So, long story short, 2017, I heard about Ethereum. And the reason why Ethereum is important, and this is for my friends who are in bands and who are artists, especially you. This is for you that I'm saying this. Ethereum is very different in that, yes, it's money and you can use it as money. In fact, because you can use it as money, you can go on PayPal and actually buy some. So that's the second one that I would recommend highly. But the reason that I like Ethereum so much is because of the smart contracts. Smart contracts in the future, and when I say the future, I don't mean like next year. I'm talking like next week, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, because these things are being built. So I've seen the sites. I'm on some of them already. So I'm telling you that they exist because I've been there. I've been to the future. But anyway, Ethereum, with its smart contracts, enable artists to get paid directly from a download. Meaning you could have a site like Spotify where when someone plays the songs and all that stuff, it's not built on ads, it's built on streaming, but the artist is paid directly. That means there is no middleman. And it creates a system where the music cannot be censored. It cannot be taken down. It cannot be removed. Every single person who has streamed it is a key holder and owns a piece of that track. So it's not just that you paid for the song and you help this artist out with $1, you actually invested $1 in that song. And as the value of that music rises, the value that you put into that song itself also rises. And that's very interesting to me because you could see something happen in the future where a song not only becomes number one, but it becomes number one for people at home. And it actually can generate money for them too, which is interesting to me. Like these are very interesting subjects. And last, but more important, this ends. You hear me out what I'm saying here. It ends the tyranny of all major labels, ends it, kills it, destroys it. No more. Because they can't fudge a contract like that. They can't say we didn't sell X amount, so you're not getting paid. Every single download, every single person who's owned it, traded it, streamed it, it traces back all the way down the line to the very first release, and it cannot be erased. So there's no fudging of numbers. So if a label actually signs you based on the blockchain and they say you're going to make 50%, it's not on paper, it's in the computer, it's built into the file. So the file will pay the artist the 50%. They cannot fudge it. They cannot fake it. So it ends payola, it ends those tyrannies, it ends centralized systems that control artists, and that's just music. I didn't even get into the art part. So I'm not just talking out of my ass here. This is serious shit. It needs to be taken seriously. So if you're an artist, meaning a visual artist, start looking it up. Start looking up Ethereum, smart contracts for art. Please get involved because this is the future. It is not going away. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. It's happening already. I'm telling you. Anyway, that's my little rant on Bitcoin. And when I say Bitcoin, by the way, I'm referring to the altcoins too. I'm not just talking about Bitcoin. There's a lot of them that I like. And I've been, I wish if it was 2019, I can tell you that at least 50% of everything that was coming in from shows would have been going into Bitcoin last year. If it was last year, it's this year, unfortunately. And I can't do what I want to do. But what little I have done, I can tell you this. I'm amazed that it's growing. It's better that it's growing there than sitting in the bank and losing money. So that's my take on it. But no more rants. I'm done. So I'm going to play another one from the from the hidden files. So this one is from, I believe this is the Steve, you can correct me here, or somebody can correct me. I don't know my releases, okay? I don't keep track. In fact, a friend of mine yesterday told me that his Peace album was stolen, and I wish I could have sent him another one. I've sent away all the ones I had. I don't even have a copy of it anymore, other than the vinyl one that I have that's like almost a bootleg now. But I digress yet again. So this song is from Shareware 2, and this one is called All the Light Has Faded Out. I will come back, and then we'll talk some more. Give me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. And most importantly, what I want to know is if you are doing stuff with crypto, like what are you doing? Because if there's something that I should be learning that I'm not learning, I want to learn it from you guys. So please tell me if you're doing something with crypto, let me know, especially if it pertains to art and music. Because I'm telling you, it's going to change the world. Not next year, now, like tomorrow, the next day. It's changing the world as you know it. And you thought Rona was a thing. Huh? Oops. Played the wrong track there.
I have watched the stars, they're fading, and the moon's my dark companion, fighting through this wilderness within. All along I've been so cold as an ocean without islands. Will I ever see all the light has faded out? All the light has faded out. All the light has faded out from me. And I'm standing stalled by the walls that keep me standing. Stalled by the walls, standing stalled by the walls that keep me stalled, standing tall, standing tall.
This is the funny bit. So funny. That was like kill me because I don't remember what classical piece that is, but I put it on CD and I had a delay pedal and I just put it on and we just messed with it and that was the end of the song and we mixed it right in live. And that was a pedal. That was just a delay pedal. I love delays. So it's a funny side note about delays. I actually checked today, and I think I now have built because I'm always building things in Reactor. I don't know if you guys know that I love Reactor, but I do. I do Reactor builds all the time. It basically Reactor, for those that are like, here's a funny thing about Reactor. So I have this guy, right? It's a nice piece, it's a nice piece. Nice piece. But honestly, it would frustrate the out of me because I can't save any patches. And every time I would get frustrated. So I built my own. Like I literally rebuilt this thing in Reactor so that I could use it in Reactor and then I can save my patches and all that stuff. But I also build effect devices. So some of the things I have are just the craziest delays you've ever seen. I've not only collected the ones that people have built, but I've circuit bent them to the max. And they're like my favorite boxes on earth. So I don't buy much gear anymore. I build it in software. I love doing that. So again, that's one of those funny things about digital devices is that just like digital art, it's something that lives in the computer, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have value. So that's why you have to understand that value is what you ascribe to something if it means something to you. So in the case of, not to beat a dead horse here, in case you're wondering why I bring this up, but in the case of Bitcoin, the reason that it has value is because people are using it. There are places in the world where the people who live in certain countries are using it more than they're using their own currency because their own currency sucks and would keep them enslaved, basically. So they're using Bitcoin to do transactions. And this is happening in more than one country. It's such a concern, mind you, to some of these bankers that um, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, I think I said that right, recently had a meeting about it because they're worried. They're worried literally that people will start to use this stuff a lot. And then what are the banks going to do? Seriously, think about it. What would the banks do if you didn't put your money in there and everything that you had it, and it was safer in your hands than it was in theirs? Now, honestly, we're not there yet, but we're so close. So there's a lot of there's a lot of talk about that, and this whole PayPal thing, because PayPal adopted Bitcoin and Ethereum and all this stuff, it's a big deal because it means that if I had, let's just say, a full Bitcoin that I bought now at 16,000, and come January that goes up to 20,000, guess what? My bank is not going to give me that kind of a rise in my money. And yeah, of course, it can come back down, but before it does, I could switch it into dollars. So if you were really scared, you could say, well, I've got 20 grand worth of Bitcoin. Let me turn that back into dollars, or let me turn at least what I paid for that Bitcoin back into dollars. So if you're really that concerned, you could actually move it back. That's something a lot of people don't understand. It's money. So you trade it for other money. So $20 worth of Bitcoin today turns into $40 tomorrow. You can turn it back into $40. You just made yourself 20 bucks. I mean, that's simple math. I'm using simple math here, but really it's got that power, and it's going to go high, man. So indeed, all the light has faded out for the banks. For the banks. Down with the system. All systems. Well, not all systems. I want shows to come back. That system can stay. I want concerts back, damn it. So anyway, we're getting near the end, but I'm going to play, I don't know why I wanted to play this one tonight, but I was in the mood. So I'm going to play this particular track from, this is the Worth demo. What is it worth to us all? Of course. So I'm going to play the Worth demo, and then I'm going to read your comments, because I am going to read your comments and try to answer some while I'm playing the song. And then I'll come back and I'm going to play something else from the tribute record. So this is Worth as a demo.
laughter and the years we fall apart. We fall apart. There's no way home. There's no way home. There's no way home. There's no way home. There's no way home when we have grown. There's no way home when we have grown. Nowhere else to go. Tonight is almost over, and the rain will fall from the sky. There's no way home when we have grown. There's no way home when you have grown. There's no way home. There's no way home. There's no way home. There's no way home. And so a little boy grows up and asks, what is it worth to us all? What is it worth to us all? So yeah, that was the Worth demo, recorded at back in the day, my apartment, in version 2 of the studio before we went over to Germany. MPC, ESQ, T3. I think there was an EMU device in there somewhere, and a 909 that I had borrowed from a friend of mine. So that was a real 909 in there. Or I might have sampled it by then, because I wound up sampling his 909. So that was the sampled one. Sorry. Sometimes I forget. But someone asked, is there an ESQ1 VST? The answer is yes. And it's not, sorry, Jim, it's not the UVI version. The UVI version, I quite loathe it. I do not like that version. All they did was sample the ESQ, and so by sampling it, you're stuck with whatever the patches are that are in there. You can alter them, but they are just patches. They're not the real thing. There is an actual SQ, I think it's called SQ8L. You can look for it. It is 32-bit, but you'll have to either use it with a bridger, or you're going to have to use it on a 32-bit system. So if you're using something like Reaper, it's fine. If you use something like Ableton, like I do, you'll have to use what they call a bridge for it. And you know what's funny? As much of a pain in the neck that was to do, I love that plugin.
because it actually talks to my hardware. I have sent every cartridge that I ever owned from my ESQ directly from my ESQ to the plugin, and I can tell you that it sounds exactly the same. There is no difference. So big fan of that one. So and it's free. You can find that one for free. So it's old and clunky, but man, it still works. I still love it. So I still use it to this day. So that was the Worth demo. Um, yeah, it might not work in Reason, but yeah, sorry about that. I don't know that it would. But to be honest, so here's another one that I love a lot because there's two ways to look at the ESQ1. So now this is tech talk. Um, if you break it up into synthesizer architecture, it's a wavetable synth. So Reason has a very good wavetable synth built into it, which is awesome. And you can make ESQ sounds with it. I have played with it and it does work. So basically, any wavetable type will be the type. But for abox, we never used the wavetable side. We actually used all the analog waveforms. So really, what you're talking about, if you're talking about the anything box version of a ESQ, you're really talking about 3 oscillators that have a way of modulating them, and very importantly, a pan that can be modulated by several sources. That's the basics of an ESQ on the abox side. So I've rebuilt that many times in Reactor. So I have my own versions of my ESQ in Reactor, which I've rebuilt. And there's a plugin that's under $100 that I love called Mod, which is a modular plugin. Look that up. It's called Mod. And I think that that's the closest thing that I've ever found to the architecture of the ESQ without it being an ESQ. So it has the 3 oscillators, modulate anything you want to anything. And yes, I can modulate the pan of the individual oscillators. So I love that. And then another synth that does that kind of approach is the OBX. So anything that's like trying to emulate an old OBX will have panning on the oscillators. And that's another reason I tend to like those things. You could do weird sounds with that. So that's the tech talk. And most people that were drinking wine are like, yeah, okay. I'm just kidding. Speaking of, it's a foo-foo today, but it's quite potent for a foo-foo. Yes, Tal Mod. Daniel, I think, yeah, Daniel L. Tal Mod is amazing. It's an amazing synth. Forget that it's a VST, forget that it's a digital synth. It's just a good synthesizer all around. Love that thing. I love it. So yeah, that's the modern version of an ESQ to me. Like that's a synth that I knew how to program the minute I got it, and I was like, okay, this is a good replacement. So if I lose the ESQ, I know that I can remake most of the sounds on this other one, and I have to a certain degree. So I know it works. So that's a good one. And someone said, "Have I tried the Arturia OBXA?" I have because I have an Arturia controller, and I've gotten some of the sounds. I like it, but I actually have a freebie OBXA that I've loved for years, and it's perfect for what I want. Again, it's one of those things. I'm not a purist in that I have to have an OBX that sounds like an OBX. It's about what I can do with the stuff itself. Like what can I do with the device that I'm going to use. Because 99% of the time I do not use patches that come with anything. I will make my own. So I'm very, very focused on making sounds. I built a synth this afternoon when I was sitting around, and I realized I'm probably going to use this one for all the string sounds now because it was just designed for that purpose. So it saves me from having to go to patches on this synth versus that. I just pull up this is the string thing that I use, and that's my string. So that's it. That's that simple. I have something for a kick drum, and I do the same thing with all these things. It makes my work faster, and that's what I want to do. Get faster. Get faster. Cut faster. Sorry, thinking of Beastie Boys right there for a second. So I heard from a little bird earlier on the chat that it was Darwin. I never say this right. Why can't I not? Okay, you're gonna have to change that band name. I can't say it right. Just because I can't say it right, you have to change it. No, I'm kidding. But it's Darwin's birthday, and I'm gonna play a song from the compilation that I wasn't gonna play. I was gonna avoid this one because it's so damn good. Because this one I had heard, and I wanted to avoid it, but I'm gonna play it tonight because it's your birthday, man, and you deserve it. Good work here from everyone. So I'm gonna play this version of a song that I think for some it might be it would be hard to do because this is it's a hard one. I think, I don't know, I could be wrong, but they did such a good job on this one. So happy birthday, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being a part of this release because it's an amazing thing. I've been out of the loop this entire time, but I'm getting closer in the loop. Obviously, I've gotten the tracks now. I've worked on the artwork for the release. Oh, I don't know. Jim, should I show them or should I wait? I'll let Jim decide. If Jim says I should show it, I'll show it. If not, I'll wait. But I'm going to play this song, Darwin MC. And I did have my notes. I found them, by the way. I took a chance earlier. So this is, let's see. So this is Darwin McD with Eminent Soul. And that's what we're going to play right now. And for that, I'm going to turn on the moon overhead because it's to the moon.
And oh, when you feel stranded, don't take for granted this thing called life. And oh, when you feel stranded, don't take for granted this thing called life.
I don't know where to come back from that. So good. So good. I don't think you understand how good you nailed it on that song, Jim. You nailed it. You really nailed it. So good. So yeah, I mistyped 1908, but it was around I want to say it was 1984 that I bought my very first synth, and it was a Yamaha CS01, which was about yay big. And I never used it for anything. Like, I think I used it for a short time, but by the time that I got my first reel-to-reel, which was more important than the synth at the time, by then it was sold, and I was already on some other stuff. So I never got to record anything with my CS01. I just remember liking it a lot. But truth be told, I actually thought about sending one of my reactor builds over to Behringer and saying, build this. If you make this, it'll be awesome. So I don't know. I might do that. I might just do that because I hadn't thought of that until today when I was messing around with one of my synths, and I realized, Behringer's always talking about what would you like to build. So I could send him something and say, build this, and you can play it and see what it sounds like, and then you can decide to build it. So that could be something. I might do that. I'll call it the 1908, just because of what happened tonight. I'll call it the 1908. I'm gonna have a 1908, damn it, and it's gonna be cool. The 1908. And you think I won't, but I will, because I'm nuts. I will do that sort of thing. So we're coming near the end. I think we are actually at the end. Ooh, we are almost at the end, folks. We are almost at the end. So I'm going to play a song that was hidden on the site that wound up then becoming a song that oh, sorry, something's going weird here. Okay, thank you. Yay, internet staying so far. Good. So this is another one of the hidden ones, because like I said, we're going to play hidden songs and all kinds of weird stuff, right? So we're coming to the end. We have 2 left. So this song I've always really liked. Again, I wish I would have recorded it better, but this was Cakewalk. But this particular track, I think, speaks to 2020. I don't know why, but it does. To me. I don't know if it does to you, or if it will to you. I think I've played it once before, maybe twice, but not more than once, I don't think. But anyway, this was also on shareware. And you heard me mention shareware more than once tonight, which means I have a funny feeling that Spaceboy is going to make it back. And Spaceboy is going to have delivering with his floppy disk shareware 1 and 2. That's what I think is going to happen. I think I just made that decision tonight, that's going to happen. A limited edition shirt with all of those tracks. I think that's cool. I think we should do that. I can do that. Can I? I think I could do that. I think I should. We'll see. This is called, you can tell it's like hitting me now, right? This is called Show Me. Visuals, we'll do, yay. Yeah, that way you can watch me get all tipsy.
And I'm really loving this, but it doesn't matter
When you're feeling down. Oh, wow. I hadn't heard that in a while. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that whole shirt thing. I think it needs to come out again. Because it should live on Bandcamp at least, right? Um, or something. We'll figure that out because that's something I should do. So to answer a question, yes, I played all the instruments on that one. Drums were funny because I had done. It was a funny thing that I used to do with the MPC, um, where I would sequence part of the song, and then I would have a bank that was my jam bank. So I would have like snares and hits and other things, and that one would be unsequenced, so that I could literally like on the fly while I was mixing hit stuff and play. So sometimes I hit it right on and it sounds like I'm right spot on, and sometimes it's slightly off, but it's because they're real. They were played in real time, so that I could have a fixed thing, and then I would do something that's not fixed. So anyway, so then you kind of get the gist of that. So I was showing this to Jim and Steven, um, and Randall last night. Um, so this was the first thing that I had done, for the tribute record. So it's basically the word and then all the song credits from everyone. So that was the first version. They didn't see this next one I'm going to show you. This was version 2, which was a little darker, I thought, a little on the dark side. Um, so this was the second thing. And then the one I'm going to show you, I did about 4 versions of it. And I think this is the final one. And I think you'll understand why this is the final one. So this is now going to be the artwork for the final, which I'm sure some of you will recognize some of those. Can you see it? Ooh, snap. I painted it again. It's going to be fun. But all that under here are the credits to the songs and all the bands. So just to show you how honored I am, I immortalized all your names in this painting. So we shall see what happens, folks. So we have a lot of work to do, guys. Help me get that subscription count on YouTube going. So help me out. I'll do everything I can to help, because I got to get that up. 2, don't forget about those remixes for Dead Stars, because that's important. That's coming up. See all the work that's coming up? I've got to finish the artwork, all the final touches. I'm putting a PDF together that's going to be going along with the release. So, and yes, there will be a limited, I looked into it today. I'm officially saying it. There will be a limited edition CD for the tribute album. Looked into it. It's happening. So there's going to be CD. There's going to be a digital version. It is not going to appear on Spotify and iTunes right away. So it's going to be on Bandcamp first, and as yet to be named site. Those are going to be the first places that you're going to find it, and then Spotify and all that stuff. But it's going to. We're shooting for December 4th, so it's a tough call. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm hoping that we'll do it. So a lot of cool stuff happening. I'm happy, that I'm, slowly getting up on my feet. Um, Still no shows, and I don't think there's going to be any shows before the year's over, but that's okay. I've got planning time for next year. So these releases will help, obviously, and I owe so much to these peeps for really like putting so much work into this record. Um, I am flabbergasted at the amount of talent and work that went into this album, which is why I took the artwork so serious. And I don't know that you would know that I took it serious, but I've been working hours on it, and I will continue to work hours on it because I want it to be the best. So it's going to be awesome. So anyway, I've got one more to play, and we're going to call it a day. So I'm going to play. Actually, let me see. Yep, last song, folks. Because then the internet goes weird. So here it is. This is from the tribute album, and I've got my notes. Where are my notes? Although I knew this one. This one I had heard, and I quite liked. So I'm going to put the visuals on. Let's start that. Oops, not those visuals, but what's that? We'll see. This is Channel 69 doing an amazing version of Welcome to the End. And indeed, welcome to the end.
Welcome to the end. The universe expands. Everyone is glad as the sun descends. And your self-esteem comes back from where it's been. We are all indebted to everything it brings. You know how everything is connected and reflected now.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?